Let me start with anger because you brought that topic in. And whenever a parent is angry on the child, we should understand what is the message we are conveying to the child. So when I'm angry, it is because my child has behaved in some manner which is not agreeable to me, right? So the message that I'm giving him is, you may be 4 years old, you may be 5 years old, you may be 10 years old, I may be 30, 40 or 50 years old, but unless you young fellow behave properly, I cannot control my emotions. That means that small fellow has to behave properly for this old fellow to control his emotions, which is a very, very wrong message we are conveying there. And this is what the child will learn in future. What the child feels is, as I grow, anybody who is younger than me, I can show my anger to him. All right. So in screen-free parenting, the author very clearly says that your child is always keeping a mirror in front of you, and that mirror is reflecting you, and you should always check and see whether I am behaving in the right manner. Children are only growing up, they are experimenting, they will make mistakes. And if we are not able to accept that mistake because of their age, and if we are trying to correct them, it does not work. It does not work, because we will give our advice based on our experience, based on what we learned in the past, or based on what parenting we had in our past. And the problem, or what the child is behaving today, is his completely new experience. So your advice, your suggestion, nothing works at that time. The only thing that works is you accept him at that moment wholeheartedly for whatever he is. Right? And that's one thing about anger. Next, I'll tell you what parents should do and what is the biggest mistake that parents are doing. Right? When we did a survey to all the parents and asked them, what do you expect from your child? Not expect from your child, how would you like to see your child when they are 25 or 30 years old? 99% of parents told, we want to see them independent, we want to see them responsible, make their own decisions, be happy, and have a contented life, no, financially stable life. 99% of parents gave the same answers. Now, what is happening? When we send them to school, the school is teaching them academics, right? Physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, whatever it is. And after they come back home, when we interact with our children, our every interaction with our child is only to see how they are doing academically. And what is the reason we give? Unless you study well, if you don't get good marks, in 10th, if you don't get good marks, you will not get into a good college. If you don't get into a good college, you will not get a good education. If you don't get a good education, you will not get a good job. And unless you get a good job, you will not be happy. Finally, we end up and say that unless you get a good job, you will not be happy. Now, the father and mother may be having very good jobs, but they may not be depicting happiness even in a single moment. What is the message you're giving your child? Wrong. So your intention, every parent's intention is right. There is no doubt about it. 99% of parents want to see their child independent, responsible, make their own decisions, happy, and live a financially stable and contented life. But no parent is giving that opportunity to the child when they interact with them on a daily basis. We don't allow children to make mistakes and learn from mistakes. We do things for them. We don't allow them to make their own decisions and then find how they can correct them. We do make decisions for them, even in their career. So how are we expecting them to live a contented and happy life? So this is the biggest mismatch. The intention of parents with what they are doing on a daily basis is not happening at all. As Suman Ghosh said, transactions, we are also transacting with our children. Every interaction is a transaction. And the more you transact with your children, you are losing your relationship with the children. Now, this COVID has only brought everything out of the carpet, right? It brought it out too soon. For me, this was the biggest opportunity. When parents and children are together, this was the best opportunity for all of you to bond. But if it did not happen, then the basics of parenting is gone for a full toss. Right? That is why we are saying that children in the age group of 15 to 29, maximum suicides are happening, and in India also it is increasing. That is the time when children have to make their own decisions, think about their career, and if they are taking off their lives, then something is wrong. So many people told, Giri, why don't you do something for children? I said, there is no problem with children. There is a problem in our method of parenting. And so my complete effort is to help every parent become a coach and counselor to their very own children. And why I got this idea was when I was doing my MA psychology in Baptist Hospital, I found that when in my internship, I was waiting along with the psychiatrist, just observing people. I found that when the children came along with the parents, they did not open up to the doctor. And when the doctor or the psychiatrist said, wait outside for the parents, the children opened out so much that the parents did not know what was happening. This is a big problem for me, because for me, the children should open up first to the parents. And if they are not opening up to the parents, then our communication with our children is completely wrong. So what I do with parents is I help them communicate well. That is, accept your children for whatever they are. If a child is coming and telling, I have a problem, I don't want to go to school, that means the child is feeling that the child does not want to go to school at that point in time. The reasons could be anything. But what do? We give them explanation of what will happen if they don't go to school, and it will not work. Right? He has a problem. He expressed the problem. The only thing that we can do is accept the problem as it is. Another one example, one of the person in our workshop, and one more problem, what I find quite alarming is in all my parenting workshops, 85% of people are women. So parenting, is the father not responsible for parenting, or they have given it entirely to the woman? So unless both take equal responsibility, this will become a one-sided affair. So the day I have 50% people of men and women in my workshop, I will think that we are in the right direction. Right? So this is one aspect. The other thing, as most people said, unless we have our emotions under control, unless we have emotional maturity, any decision we do on our child, anything that we do on our child is going to go wrong. So we must have that emotional control within us. All the meditation techniques that Anup said, parents have to do. Because unless you are balanced, you will make mistakes which can be sometimes irreparable. Right? So my entire idea is to help parents become coach and counselor to their own children. Because I find children will undergo in their lives, they will have situations where they will be completely depressed. They might have certain events in their life which will be completely devastating. Parents need to work like a counselor there. Right? How a counselor is able to get everything from the child only because they are not judgmental. They don't put their views onto the child. Parents have to be like that. And when the child is confused, does not know what to do, the parent has to work like a coach. That is, don't give him, but help him find solutions on his own by asking the right kind of questions. You need to trigger their mind, because every child, I believe, comes with a seed which has a potential to become whatever he or she is. The problem is we don't know what that seed is. And the moment parent thinks that he knows what is good for the child, the mistake begins there. We don't know what is good. We don't know what is good for a child. But we can only understand what the child really wants if we are non-judgmental. If we start looking at our children as a third party, not someone who is born out of us. No, children are born through us. We have no authority of the child. Yes, we have to give them all the security and safety till they get onto their own. But we have no authority or no responsibility for our children. Many of the people may contradict with me, but let me tell you, no parent is responsible for their children, but you are responsible to them for everything that you say and do whenever they do anything. So we are not responsible for children. They may fail, they may get into a fight. We are not responsible for that, but we are responsible to them after they do that. So our response is completely our responsibility, not what they do. So my entire method is called the doing nothing method. You don't do anything outside, you do everything within yourself. And the more you start doing something within yourself, you will find that automatically the change will happen there. Yes. So simple things, our intentions are right, but our methods are wrong. So unless intentions and methods match, we will be in this conflict right through. Parents and children should have the best of relationship, but we find that children want to run away from parents. by the time they're 14 or 15. Why? Because our methods are wrong, right? And our anger is telling that small fellow, unless you behave properly, I cannot control my emotions. That's a wrong message we are giving. So have our emotions under control. Next is the right kind of communication. I need to know how I can express, how I should talk to my children. There are 12 communication barriers which Thomas Gordon says. No, your advice, suggestion, preaching, lecture, these don't work with children at all. That's why now the moment we start giving the message, they'll run off. And they'll say, I can't talk to my father only, a full-time lecture he'll give. No, they'll keep talking to their friends. So acceptance of what they want, I mean, what they are, accept them for whoever they are. They may be tall, dark, handsome, not steady. They are that. But we want something else, which we already have a framework, which is a good child, which may not work. Right? So these are small, simple things which we need to incorporate. And I'm telling you, every family can become the best place that is available for anybody. And once that happens, the entire society will change. That's my